Hi there, it's Carolyn with Therapy for the Soul. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a bit of a different type of video. I've been wanting to do some recordings on different healing modalities to help your soul's journey on the healing part of our spiritual journey. That's a necessary part. One of the techniques that I personally have found to be really helpful is emotion freedom technique. It's often referred to as EFT or tapping because it includes tapping different meridian points on your body, which really helps to activate the healing energies. And so for today's video, it's going to be an introduction to this, since this is the first video that I'm doing about this. So I'm going to share a bit about how it's helpful, how you do tapping, and then we're going to walk through a tapping exercise. And then my intention is to bring a tapping topic to the channel every week, okay? So, tapping, in case you have not heard of it before. As I mentioned, we tap on different meridian points on the body. And I'll be going through what some of those different points are. They're also known as acupressure points. And it's really kind of cool because what it does is it does also activate, I guess biologically, the amygdala and the hippocampus, and it alerts those areas of the brain to release stress and activate calming, okay? And it also activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is often known as the rest and digest. It's the part of us that helps us to be able to relax. So these different strategies to release stress and help us to relax, okay? And so what this does is it's when we're having a memory or an emotionally charged experience. This helps us to go in where we're already activated. Our body might feel like it's in a bit of fight or flight mode. Just in the same way, it might feel like a tiger is chasing us or we're trying to dart out of the way so that a car doesn't hit us. It's the same sort of thing with the emotions that are getting activated within us, and then that alerts the sympathetic nervous system to activate fight or flight, then causes all this stuff to be going on physiologically inside of us. And so through tapping, we are connecting with the emotion from what it is that's coming up within us. But through the tapping, it's helping us to be able to release the stress, release the emotionally charged emotion, and activate calming. Because when something gets in the way of taking some sort of step forward or recalling some sort of memory or experience, it really is the emotion that ends up holding us back. And so this can be really powerful healing process. There's also this piece that some research has indicated that, the more that we hold on to chronic stress or chronic emotional distress, that there is some findings that this can also contribute to the manifestation or development of some physiological illnesses too. And so in that sense, it's really important. I feel like a really important intervention just for that balance with the mind-body connection as well. And one interesting statistic that's been found through the research of EFT is after doing EFT for 1 hour, the cortisol has been found to be reduced by 44%. And so I think you'll notice, if you have not done this before, that as you start to do tapping, you're going to feel just this shift within you. You're going to feel this sense of calmness that really takes over. And you can use tapping for anything. It can be to be able to manage some sort of emotional experience that you're having, Or it can be if you would like to get better sleep, or to have more energy, or to align more with manifestations. All sorts of different things. And so I'm hoping to bring all sorts of different types of tapping topics on to the channel. Okay. And so this is my overview about tapping. I like also that it is evidence-based as well, with the research findings about it. And so I was thinking for our tapping exercise today, when we think of the reading from this week, there was this focus on healing. There was this focus on stress and something that might be keeping you up at night, something you're really worried about. And it might either be prompting some sort of change for you to take, or it might be because you know there's a change that needs to happen, and you might feel like stressed about like what that might look like. And so that's really what we're going to be doing the tapping exercise about today. But before we even get into the tapping exercise, I want to just give a little demo of the different points that you tap on. And so we always start with the side of our hands, and it's like this. It's called the karate chop points. You can do it with 2 fingers. I have found with tapping, it almost feels like you got to dig in a little bit, okay? So it's not tapping like super hard, but it's not super gentle either. It really is just kind of like a firm tap, okay? Then the next spot that we would tap on is the eyebrows. I always do, when there's an option to kind of do both sides, like an eyebrow, I always do both sides, but you can always just do one side if you want to. That's supposed to be just as effective. And so we do the eyebrows. Next, it is the side of the eye. Okay, then it's under the nose. Then it's under the mouth, like really close to where your lip is there. And then we do the collarbone, and I use 2 hands for this, okay? And sometimes I feel like I need to like find where the exact spot is. A technique you can also do is make a fist, and then you can tap where someone might knot their tie. But I find it feels very relieving. Like I can almost feel that sense of like a relaxation when it feels like the right spot for me, okay? Then we do what's called under the arm. And you could either lift your arm up and tap under your arm, or I've seen some people almost look as though they're giving themselves a hug and then tapping the sides there. And for anyone who might wear a bra, this tapping is where your bra strap might land, just to give you that sense of the location. And then we do the top of the head. And I found for myself, like towards the back of the head is where I feel that relaxation sensation, but you can feel around where on your head feels good to you. And so the way that we do the tapping, through the way that I'll be doing it here, is I'll be sharing things with you, and you will repeat what I share either out loud or in your head. And then I'll just be doing the tapping. I'll be visually doing it, and you'll just tap along with me, and you'll repeat out loud, you know, the different phrases that I say. And then there will be times that I'll just ask you to reflect while you're still tapping, and you will do that as well. Okay? And so once you get the hang of it, it can feel really, really natural. And so why don't we go ahead and get ready here. One of the things that's really helpful with tapping is to ask yourself, before you even dive into it, on a scale of 0 to 10, how are you feeling? So it's rating yourself at the beginning and then at the end is what we're going to do. And if you find at the end of the tapping that you still don't have the relief you want, or your number hasn't gone down as much as you would like, you can always do more rounds of tapping and repeat this video, okay? There's certainly been times, depending on what I'm moving through, sometimes 1 round will feel good for me. Sometimes I've had to do like 5 or 6, depending on what it is. Sometimes I will just feel like more centered and grounded. There's other times I've sobbed. And so there definitely can be an experience of just like emotions that are coming up, which is a good thing because you're connecting with these emotions and releasing them, but you're also activating the calming system within your body at the same time. Okay? So go ahead and get comfortable. And so what we are going to look at is, just thinking, what is it that you might be feeling really worried or really stressed about right now that might just be keeping you up at night? And so on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 feeling like the worst thing ever, it just feels unbearable, and 0 might be you barely notice it at all. How would you rate where your stress level is? How does it feel in your body? Okay. And so, go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. And we're going to begin tapping on the side of the hands here. Okay? And just repeat after me. You can do it in your mind or out loud. I personally feel out loud is something that works best for me. You can try both and see what you think, okay? And so when we tap on the karate chop point, we only do this at the very beginning, and this is just to really acknowledge the truth of things, okay? So even though I am feeling so stressed right now, I still choose to love and accept myself. Even though the stress is so unbearable, it's keeping me up at night, I still love and honor myself. Even though this stress just feels so big, I just want to dump it out like that garbage truck in the background, and I just don't know how to get rid of it. I choose to love and honor myself anyway. So now we're going to start by going through the points, okay? All of this stress, it's getting in the way of my sleep. I cannot stop thinking about the stress. It's bringing up so much anxiety, so much fear. What am I going to do? It just feels unbearable. I feel so stuck and trapped. This stress. It feels like it's just weighing me down. All these what ifs I'm trying to come up with. I keep thinking over and over, trying to come up with a solution. But I'm so stuck in my head, I just can't sleep. I can't think clearly. I am tired of all this stress, this worry. I just want it to be easy. easy solution. Now for this next round, we're going to go a little deeper, and I want you to make this personal for you. And so I want you to think about what the specific thing is that's keeping you up at night, that's been on your minds, that's creating all this stress and worry. And so I'm going to have you go through tapping the points with me, but you don't have to say anything out loud. Just think about the questions that I pose here, okay? So think about and connect with all the stress that this situation is bringing up in you. Feel how heavy it feels. Feel how weighed down you feel. And just reflect on, why does this feel so stressful? What is the story your mind is creating about this situation? How does it feel to imagine changing the situation? Does it still feel so stressful? Or does it feel a little lighter? To know that maybe something could happen where you could take a step out of this. Notice as you start to contemplate, maybe a change is possible. That you start to feel a little bit lighter. Sometimes the unknown can be really scary, which leads us to want to stay in the situation that we're in. Because maybe even if it doesn't feel comfortable, it feels familiar. But it doesn't mean we have to. Change doesn't have to be so scary, and it can be done a step at a time. So notice how it feels as you might picture yourself having a solution come to you now that you're starting to feel a tiny bit lighter, a tiny bit calmer. Okay, we're going to do one more round, and I'm going to have you return to repeating after me, okay? Feels good to know that it's okay to relieve and release some of this stress and worry. There is a possibility for something different. I give myself permission to relax in knowing this truth. I notice myself feeling lighter and lighter. Freer and freer. As I give myself this permission to relax, my body is relaxing. Where did that heaviness even go? can't even feel it anymore. Let's do one more round. I feel kind of encouraged about what this change could bring. This next step towards change. What if things will be okay? It feels so peaceful to know that that's a possibility. Things could be okay. Because things often do have a way of working out, now that I think about it. When I get overwhelmed, it's hard to see possibility. But now that I've given my body this permission to relax, it feels like some doors have been opened in my mind. I can see more clearly. This feels so good. It feels safe to relax and go about my day. And then put your hands on your heart and take a deep breath. And then do another check-in with yourself. How do you feel on a scale of 0 to 10? I know I find myself feeling more peaceful, more relaxed, and I hope that is your experience as well. And if not, that's okay. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. Just might mean, like I shared at the beginning, maybe you need to do another round, and that's perfectly normal and perfectly fine. So if you've made it to the end of the video with us, I hope that this was useful and helpful. And if there's any specific topics you would like me to create tapping videos about, please feel free to put those in the comments or send me a message and I can be sure to do so. So thank you so much, and I would say just practice some of this tapping this week as part of your healing regimen, where you are helping yourself to release anything that might feel stuck and might feel like it's weighing yourself down, and relieve any of those worrisome thoughts, fears of regrets, anything that's keeping you up at night, so that you can continue to go about your day and your week and see where your next steps will lead. All right, well, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again at the next video. All right, take care. Bye.